Similarly, the brain does the same thing. I mean, you start learning, there are only 1 to 9 numbers. So you start adding 1 to 9 in units, and then suddenly you say, oh, well, if I add 9 and 4, that's more than 9. Now, what happens to that? So then you learn about tens, and then you learn about hundreds, then you learn about thousand, and so on. Mm-hmm. That, so all these things happen. I mean, unfortunately, the system has kind of come up with these 13 years of learning, K to 12, artificially, because you have different kids going at different rates to learn, and they get the aha moment faster or slower than others. And yet, we kind of keep them in this.
Okay, so because I can tell that we're about to get into a little bit of the personalization and the adaptive technology that you've built.
Yes.
And I want to, we're going to get there. I want to keep us for one more moment on the additive learning and the continuum, because I think that is so interesting, continuity. So with the additive and the continuity, it's as though not only when we get the paper back, that we have a grade on it, are we then, we're already breaking the continuity because we had to wait a couple days to get the paper back, but also then is the additive learning there, as in do we take what the next moment of the educational process is and do we seize it and go and get excited about it and go and pursue it?
So it depends on individual child. There's some children who will continue the hunger to do that. There are others who will be like, okay, so what's the big deal, right? It depends on what kind of background they're coming from, what kind of mindset they have. And so,
and that seems like a very important time to interject to say that the parent is actually such a vital role.
An adult.
An adult, and but it's for almost everybody on the planet. Most people, it's specifically the parent's responsibility. If you birth the child into the world, it's foremost your responsibility, and the communities together.
Yes.
But yours specifically is to inspire the child with all of the different opportunity that's available for them to actualize.
You're absolutely right. Okay, it is the parent's responsibility. But let's be honest. Okay, there are parents in this world who cannot do this for whatever reason, right? You could say they come from a place of not being able to help their child. They can come from, they don't know what to do with their child. They don't, they probably didn't go through the formal education system themselves. My father, for example, was the first in his generation, in his family ever, to go and do a degree in math. Okay, he didn't have any role models. So how are we supposed to, now he was driven, but how is every child supposed to do that? Because probably the parents are, kind of struggling to make ends meet. So I don't want to put the blame on the parents and not give them that kind of, responsibility. But let's think about this. If there is a teacher, and I've seen that's what kind of fascinated me and roped me into education. I saw the best teacher who knew every child in her classroom. Mm-hmm. But there aren't that many of them. Mm-hmm. She knew exactly, she would keep folders on each child, what they knew, what they were, how to excite them, how to make something happen for them. So a lot of it was project-based, a lot of it was passion-based, and give them a purpose in life, right? That's a tall thing to do for every child.
Yes.
And you can't put that on the parents all the time. Yes, I think if you're in a position, you owe it to every child to do that, if you're going to bring a child in. But at some point, if a parent can't do it, society needs to step in. Because we're in all this together.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a school system, we need to find the best way to make sure a child can learn. And you know what? We keep saying change their mindset. Changing mindset is the hardest thing to do.
Yes.
It's so hard.
So difficult to do
right?
that, yeah.
There are, there's a whole push, there's a whole movement about mindset. I'm a big believer of mindset, but to change people from where they are to where you want them to be, it's very difficult.
So let's work our way into the adaptive learning by saying this. So we have both the parent takes lots of responsibility for the child, so does the community, the teachers around the child, to provide lots of opportunity for the child to actualize into what you've built enables more continuity, so that the child, when they're using your platform, are able to get instant feedback about what they're learning and how they're learning it, and you've created